So, did Jenny really love Forrest? No, absolutely not. No way. And yes, what? How can it be both? Adam.
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, because that's how I feel. And no, I'm not just trying to be clever here. I'll explain what I mean. But first, let's go over the evidence as for why she doesn't love him. So grab a seat or a bench, and let me tell you the story of when Jenny met Forrest. You remember where it happened, right? On the
First school.
Okay, cynicism aside, it's a sweet moment. I'll give you that. But come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, come on.
She just did what most semi-decent people would do in a situation like that. It was sympathy, nothing more. Do you really believe adult Jenny remembers this moment? Questionable. But you know how Forrest feels.
I remember the bus ride on the first day of school very well.
It can be easy to misconstrue kindness, but that's why Forrest remembers this. For Jenny, it's just a fleeting moment of pity. It doesn't stick for her. I know that's a total guess because we can't get inside her mind, and we don't have any scenes of her sitting on a bench telling random strangers the story of her life. But speaking of point of view, wouldn't that make an interesting pseudo-sequel/companion piece? Or maybe it would be too depressing, considering how crappy her life was? So what do you think of that, huh? Have I convinced you? Okay, I know I'm not starting off with the best evidence, but I swear I've got better proof coming up.
So noted.
As they grow up together in
Greenbow, Alabama!
They stay friends, but that's with the biggest of quotations.
How give you friends?
It was either she hung around with Forrest or these idiots.
Jenny and me was like peas and carrots.
Yeah, I don't think so, Forrest. This was a friendship of convenience. How do I know? Because the second she gets out of the boonies, she starts seeing other guys. But you remember what happens next, right? Jenny gets undressed right in front of him. But Jenny doesn't flinch or bat an eye. And here, when she tells Forrest about her dreams for the future,
I want to be famous.
there's no hint that she wants Forrest to come along with her. I mean, when she finally does get to sing in front of an audience, do you think she sent Forrest an invitation? I mean, just because she did a nice thing for him once when they were both kids? Do you think she thought she was entering into a lifetime commitment with this guy?
Bye-bye, Jenny. They sending me to Vietnam.
But remember, she doesn't seem to care a whole lot when he's actually in Vietnam, which is when she should be worrying the most. But no, she's too busy being a hippie to even write back. Once! But wait, what about that beautiful moment when they reunite? Bullshit. 100% bullshit. Let's look beyond the spectacle of it all for just a second. It's probably been years since they last saw each other. So, I don't think her being excited to see an old friend
How give you friends?
is anything remarkable. And when they were hanging out afterward in the park and at the Black Panther party, do you think Forrest asked, "Hey, BTW, how come you didn't respond to any one of those billion letters I sent you? This isn't the Notebook." Then she leaves. Oh, but not before he tells her that
You're my girl.
I'll always be your girl. Liar! Liar!
and how sweet and romantic that after all of this time, he still carries a torch for her. But you know what I think about this? If Jenny was just slightly decent here, she would do the harder thing. Simply tell him the truth. But this isn't the last time they'll see each other because, out of the blue, Jenny shows up. But not out of any specific need for Forrest. Think of it like Jenny has entered rehab, because that's exactly what this sequence is. It's not really fair to him, but to be fair to her, she never promised him a rose garden or anything. Anyway, it's in this sequence that Forrest gets to ask what he's long since wanted to ask.
Will you marry me?
I think this is a hard scene to watch for people, not because of the drama, but because it might stir up memories of an unrequited love that you had once, and how much it hurt when you had your guts ripped out.
You don't want to marry me.
Right there. This is as close as Jenny ever gets to telling Forrest the truth. But the thing is, it's cloaked and scrambled in the language of girl code. She says,
You don't want to marry me.
but what she's really saying is, I don't want to marry you. By shifting it from her to him, she can disqualify the question without actually answering it. So, Forrest responds in a way that most guys would.
I love you.
But of course, that never works.
You don't know what love is.
Again, Jenny does the same thing. Clearly what she means is, I don't know what love is. And with the life she's lived, I'm not surprised. She doesn't want to reject him, but what can she do? Forrest is too direct here. He ends up turning his back on her, which is the smartest thing he's ever done. But then, because out of what I see is only guilt, Jenny sleeps with him. This is as close as she gets to saying, "I'm sorry." I guess. Not that she needs to say it, but it does soften the blow before she leaves him. Again. Or does doing this make it harder on Forrest? What do you think? And let me ask you another question. If this union didn't result in a child, do you really think Forrest would have seen Jenny again? Well, the answer is no. Now there is a child, and Jenny knows she's dying. Someone will have to take care of little Forrest. It just so happens that the guy she's come to depend on and the boy's father is the same guy. Lucky, I guess. So, why get married then? My cynical side wants to take over here and put it all on the fact that since she knows she's dying, well, it's not like she's going to have to stay married for long anyway. But no, I don't think so. This is where love wins out. I think her marrying Forrest is the one piece of evidence that lends credence to her actually loving him. But I'm not talking about romantic, passionate love. That kind of love was never a possibility with Forrest and Jenny. Instead, the love between them is a longer-lasting love, a kind of love based on acceptance and compassion. And I think her having a child was the one thing that finally allowed Jenny to experience a love like that, one without conditions. And that's the kind of love they share, albeit briefly. So, in the end, Jenny really does love Forrest, just not in the way maybe our hearts and minds hope she would. It's a silver lining. Barely. Is it really fair? No. But life isn't fair. And I guess that's the point. Well done, movie.